feel like they're mature. They've gotten accolades and awards from pastors and bishops. However, what's really going to tell who you are is when you go through your own personal trial. And people get to pick from the fruits of peace in your life, the fruits of joy in your life. When they get to pick from goodness and love. But if you hide from the voice, you can't produce fruit. Why is it important that we produce fruit? Fruit is the final expression of the growth season. You start off with a seed. Seed becomes a root. The root springs up and becomes a shoot. And the shoot then manifests fruit. Fruit is the outray. If you're comparing a star or the sun to fruit, so for its productivity, the outshining, the outray, the rays of that star, the rays of the sun, the manifestation, the outward manifestation of that luminary will be raised. So for a seed, people need to eat of your fruit. As a star, people need to see your light, your rays. But if you don't spend time with the Most High and become empowered, charged like a solar generator, the solar panels set out there in front of the sun, facing the sun, and absorbing the energy. Then through the panel, it comes through the little wires and go into the generator and is stored. Your place is in his face. And let his glorious word, the interest of the word, give it light. Let his glorious word hit your heart. Your heart absorbs him. And stores inside of you power. So when your boss curses you out on your job, and your fellow employees lie on you, you won't live your whole life of cursing them out. You won't live your whole life before Yeshua HaMashiach came, the one who knows Jesus Christ. You won't do what you used to do. I got to get them back. But when you have absorbed the voice, when the written becomes the living, you're able to pray for those that despitefully use you. You're able to forgive them and let your light shine. Now, I had you earlier go to 2 Corinthians chapter number 3. It was at verse 5. Not that we are sufficient of ourselves to think anything of ourselves. It's not about us thinking. Our thoughts are lower than his thoughts. His thoughts are higher than our thoughts are. As high as the heavens are above the earth. Isaiah declares this. We need his thoughts. So some people think, well, we get his thoughts by just having the letter. To a certain degree. Get as much as this you can into the natural mind, yes. But it cannot stop there. These words, before they were written, were spiritual. They were alive. They were living. They caused Adam to breathe. I believe they caused an axe head to swim, either with the prophet Elijah or Elijah. These words caused hungry lions, as they dealt with Daniel, their mouths to be shut. These words caused a two-piece fish meal. I think it was 5 loaves and 2 pieces of fish. to multiply and feed thousands. No, it ain't just the written here. It's the written, which is truth, coupled with the Spirit. The two together make it a flowing voice. Voice means flowing. It deals with current. It's something going forth. As I talk now, I can feel the wind coming, hitting, the air hitting my hand. You need truth to proceed from him to you. Then when it impacts you and changes you, it can then proceed from you to someone else. You can give them hope because of the life in you. You now eat the apple and you give somebody else the seed. But you don't sit there and eat seeds. Unless it's sunflower seeds, but mostly we don't eat seeds. There are a lot of seed eaters in the church, but not a lot of fruit consumers. Be a fruit consumer. Eat the peach. Want the living. As long as that peach is still attached to that limb, that branch, it's alive. The moment you pluck it, life starts to leave it. But if you eat it before all the life is gone, you're eating life. These are seeds. They're needed to produce the living peach. Don't just be seed eaters. Be fruit consumers. I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. How do you get that, David? SPA. S-P-A. You study the seed. With the good ground, as Christ talked about. Not stony ground. A thorny ground. Good ground, you study it. S. Then P, you pray it. Praying is about you meditating on it. When you pray, you're meditating on it. I know some people say, well, don't pray the same thing over and over again. Don't listen to those folks. Christ prayed the same prayer 3 times in the Garden of Gethsemane. If it be possible, take this cup away from me. Your Savior prayed it 3 times. Don't listen to these religious folk. You pray it until it saturates you. You pray it until it permeates you. You pray it until it imbues your heart. You pray it until, like a steak that has been marinating in the seasoning overnight, vinegar and garlic and all whatever you put in it. You let that steak set in there so that tomorrow, when you take it to the grill after all night in the refrigerator, you take it and put it on the grill tomorrow, that steak that has absorbed that marinade, as the flame heats it, you smell the aroma of what it was in. Study the word. S. Pray the word. Meditate. Talk. So what if it takes you 30 minutes? Stay there and pray. You need to stay there, not these artificial or camera-ready prayers that may get prayed in a church while the services are going on. No, it's what you do when you're by yourself. Integrity is deals with a man being who he is when he's alone. Don't let nothing interrupt your alone time, your marinating time, your watering time. Adam, where art thou? It's time for me to water you. Though I made you to do a thing, unless you receive the power of the flow, you can't do it. When a man get a pair of clippers, they could be fancy and expensive, have all type of accommodations, and do a good job on cutting his hair. Yes, it was made to cut, but what does it need? It needs to be plugged in. to that voltage. It needs to be connected to that voice. What voice? The alternating current flowing through the wires. He got to plug that prong into that outlet and receive the voice. Receive the flow. You, beloved, get your flow from his voice. His voice is at the sound of many waters. Sometimes people want you to be quiet, but Jeremiah said that his word is like fire shut up in my bones. I came here today to declare truth, and I will declare with passion. The day is over for the passionateless, the religious that just want to sit and walk with their Bibles. No, he's calling a generation to become so empowered, so saturated with him, that they'll be like John the Baptist. John didn't dress in a fancy three-piece suit. He didn't drive the top-of-the-line Mercedes-Benz. He didn't even go hardly into the city. But the anointing, the fruit that were hanging from his tree, the light rays that were going out from what he is, caused people to come out of the city. And when they came out of the city, they hadn't seen anything like this. They had gotten used to the stale Pharisees and scribes, sounding like philosophers. They had not seen the dynamic. They've been used to recordings. But there stood one in the Jordan and by the Jordan. When they asked him, who are you? Are you Elijah? A time for you to take credit. John knew who he was. John said, I am a voice. What is he saying by that? I am the horn that's being blown through to produce a melody that will get you all to be convicted of your sin and turn to the Most High. I'm here to declare that one has showed up that's greater than I. John said he was a voice. And that's what the Most High wants to be done today. He's not getting ready to leave heaven again. No. He has saxophones, bugles, horns, trumpets in his band here in the earth. And that's who I'm talking to tonight. Your job is to present yourself in a way, purify, do the things that he says to do. Take his word, let his word wash you, and be clean and usable. So when he opens the case and pulls out you, saxophone, pulls out you, whatever your instrument you call to be, for him to make a sound. A voice is a sound. And to move from music to light, he wants you to shine. And I came to encourage you tonight. It was on my heart. It's like I could hear it. Tell my people it's time to shine. I asked you earlier when I first started. All right, if I didn't ask, I just presented this information. When do people really appreciate stars? I'm talking about those luminaries in the sky there, firmament. When do they really appreciate them? Is it at noonday? Or is it at night? And I think most people will say it's at night. We're getting ready to go into a night season. But don't you dare hide. I'll say this again. We are entering into a night season in history, in time. This night season is like the days of Noah. Wickedness, darkness, evil all around. But don't you hide. Just like you don't hide a loaded fruit tree from a hungry family, you don't hide light for those who are looking for the way. Some of you, if not all of you, many of you, the devil is resisting you. He's trying to discourage you to not show up for your watering time. Don't be distracted. Ask the Most High to water you. Show up when the voice comes to the garden, when the flowing power comes to the garden. Don't do like Adam and hide. Let him water your roots so you can produce fruit. And when darkness set in, don't you run. I feel in my spirit to tell you to step up, stand up, and light up. Step up, stand up, and light up. What do you think all of that prayer and fasting you've been doing is for? That meditation is for? I didn't finish SPA. S-P-A. S, study. P, pray. A, apply. That's your fruit-bearing stage. The application, apply. Study, pray, apply. That's your light bringing forth his character. Apply. You're part of his band in this army, in this world of chaos. But in the midst of chaos, the Most High is getting ready to play the most beautiful song. And the music behind his song is his instruments. You may be saying, nobody want to listen to me. Nobody's wanted to hear me. Step up, stand up, and light up. Because I get the feeling he's going to be grabbing you soon to produce a sound that'll break the bonds of sin. Music has a way, especially when anointed by the Most High, to deliver a man's heart. Oh yes, Saul was oppressed by evil spirit. I think this is in Samuel. That he ran into, I came across a boy, a rejected boy. A boy whose father didn't even invite him to the big time party. That was really for him. The boy that took care of the mediocre tasks. A shepherd boy. A boy that I can imagine early in the morning when he took the sheep out, he had his spot on the backside of the mountain when the sun would break across the horizon. And at sunrise, I believe David wrote and sang. Oh, those sheep, what beautiful sounds they must have heard. There's this young musician. And I don't see where men trained him. They may have. But I believe he loved to play. And he got to know the Most High. See, while others are going to school and learning man's way and the ways of the philosopher, the Most High know how to take his beloved. That's what the name David means, David, beloved. And I welcome you here to this channel, the heart of David. A man's heart that stuck out so that he himself said, he's a man that seeketh after me. A man whose heart is after me. And that's what this channel is about. The man that sits before you today. a heart like David was prophesied to, that a spirit, a heart like David would be upon me. I embrace it now. When you have a heart like David, you don't need what others need. You can be alone, but you're not alone. He was wrapped in the voice of the Most High. His mind was far above religion and religiosity. The man was like a spiritual archaeologist digging to get to the core, the heart of the Most High. There are people educated in a lot of different areas. Some educated in even this, the Bible. Some educated in the law. But what you want to be educated in is being in his presence and hearing his voice. That man can't lose. That woman can't lose. That boy, that girl can't lose. Hidden in the voice. Yeah. Natural knowledge puffs up a man. And many who think they know all about it, all about the law, all about the traditions, all about it. Many walk in pride. And pride is a prerequisite before destruction. But when you walk in the voice, when you're wrapped up in the voice, you can't lose. How can you lose? To have his voice with you is to have him with you. He said to David, seek my face. David said, thy face will I seek. Why? Why the face? What is on the face that this young boy would go after it? What is on the face? Well, on the face are his eyes. If I seek his face, his eyes on me. On the face are his ears. Yeah? So he hears me. On his face is his nose, so he can smell the aroma of my life sacrifice. I beseech you, therefore, brothers, by the mercies of the Most High, that you present your body a living sacrifice. And his nose can smell it. But oh, beloved, out of all the sensory organs, using the natural man's face as an example, the most important part is the Most High's mouth. For out of his mouth, if you seek his face, then out of his mouth flows his voice. And I've said it before, probably 2 times tonight, and I'll say it again. Man shall not live by bread alone. Bread is natural substance. Provision. Something you could earn. Something you could work for. Your boss, your company pays you. You get bread. Some people used to call it bread back in the day. Yeah, a lot of people that got bread. They got money. But bread doesn't satisfy everything. There are many rich people that watch their loved ones waste away from cancer, some other disease. And it's not because they like having bread, natural supply. People give their lives, step on people. Some sleep around to get to the top for bread, for money. But there's something greater than just a natural aspect of the human life, of the life. You are a spirit, and you live in a human body, a natural body, and you have a mind. And many overlook the spirit But the spirit is who you are. And one day you're going to leave this body, and your bread, your money, your fame, everything you built will not matter. Oh, the wise man is the man that is search and found and understand that God, or the I am that I am, in the Hebrew, Exodus 3:14, I am that I am, meaning ahaya ashura haya. The verb haya means to be. Assure means that. And ahaya again, I be. I be who I be, unless you have the voice of him. His voice can cause the body of the dying family member to live. Just one word. His voice can cause you. Though you don't have the educational experiences the others that are going for the same job you're applying for. But if you wrap yourself in his voice and you delight yourself in him, and one of the ways you delight yourself in him is by delighting yourself in his voice. Father, I need thee. Oh, Father, I'm worse than a fish out of the sea if I don't have thee. Father, I'm worse than lungs with no air without thee. That display of genuine weakness on your behalf is an invitation to his strength. When you show him that you're weak and you're needy, and this is a lot of man's problem today. They don't want to show weaknesses, especially a lot of men. That's why you're getting ready to see, for the times we're getting ready to go into, a lot of people are going to check out. I'll put it that way. Most High showed me this. They're going to allow other voices. And some are going to give up. Because they built their lives on themselves, their accomplishments, their family's name. And when this changing world is coming, when this economy takes the nosedive that it's going to take, and when everything people have been relying on some are going to check out. I hope you know what I mean by check out without me using the words. They're going to choose to quit the game. But those who sparred, who studied, prayed, they're going to shine in the midst of what's going on around. You want to know why? Because they will have with them what Daniel had, what Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, what these Elijah had. They're going to have the voice. Oh, it's a miserable thing to live without the voice. Religion can't supply the voice. No. Fasting don't necessarily supply the voice. If you just eat, go without eating and not meditating on him, not spying, not studying, not praying and applying, fasting is not going to do you a lot of good spiritually if you're not into the voice. But when you mix it with the voice, when he calls you away to deny the flesh, and his voice, I smile because heaven has a sweet melody. And every now and then, if you worship him and you get close, it seems like it can seep through. I know this ain't going to make sense to some of you all. Some of you may call me crazy or whatever, but that's all right. Every now and then, he'll give you an experience